as what Mr. Nisi calls a precursor. Okay, I made that ruling. Thank you, sir.
As it is the court, madam, we are not worried about the fact that the statement, the contestability of that statement should be an issue that should be determined in the trial within the trial. But our main concern is, as we are embarking in this trial within the trial to determine the admissibility of those statements, what is it that we are looking at? Whether those statements, in the mind of the content of those statements is, as the state would want to bring them to the attention of the court. In as much as we want to move parallel with the state, but we should know exactly with precision what is it that the state would ultimately want this court to admit this statement for. Without that, my lord, I'm afraid we will be looking for a black cat in a dark room using some torches which do not have batteries, ultimately which black cat is not even there.
Mr. Bloy, able to respond?
As a court, please, my lord, at this point, the contents of the statements are not in issue. It's about the voluntariness of those statements. My learned friends are in possession of the statements, and they can make a call as to the contents of those statements. But if they want to hear it from the state, my lord, firstly, they denied that their clients made any statement. And secondly, they want to know what value the state attaches to those statements. If they want us to debate the statements at this point, my lord, the state will say some of those statements are admissions, some of them are exculpatory, but even though they're exculpatory, they're prejudicial to their clients. And the legal position is that if a statement, even if it's exculpatory, if it's prejudicial to the client, then a trial within a trial will not be held. That is the position.
Counsel, you've heard the answer. Some are admissions, some are exculpatory, but they also have a modicum of prejudicial content, and that you are in any event in possession of those statements. Unlike this court, you are privileged because you are in possession of the statements, and when you read the statements as counsel, you are able to determine what the state intends doing with those statements. Okay.
As it is the court, my lord, according to that, we'll be looking at admissions, exculpatory, but to some extent prejudicial to the accused. Thank you.
The full name, please.
My lord. Yes.
Objection. Nothing else but the truth. If so, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God, my lord.
Mrs. Sonia.
You have to sit down, sir.
Yeah, later, my lord.
Later. Okay, fine. Yes, Mr. Malone.
You are a brigadier in the service of the South African Police.
That is correct, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso-ke ukuthi-ke emaphoyiseni aseNingizimu Afrika ngiwu-brigadier.
South African Police.
30 years, my lord, 30.
History and record.
Aye u-19 njengokuthi-ke
Security training course.
ayokwenza-ke i-course abayibiza ngokuthi-ke i-internal security course.
Thereafter, I did a training in special weapons and explosives.
Emuva kwalokho ngase ngenza-ke i-course emayelana-ke nama special weapons nama-weapons-ke kanye nama-explosives.
Training in computer literacy.
Ngiqeqeshiwe-ke kweziphathelene-ke ne-computer.
Vehicle related crimes and investigations.
Amacala-ke abizwa ngokuthi-ke ama-VIP kanye futhi nophenyo.
Investigation of case dockets as well as inquiry dockets.
Ukuphenywa ke kwamacala ke noma ke amadokodo ke amacala noma ke ekusafanele kuthathwe inqumo ngawo ama-inquiry kwenzeke khona isigameko.
Yes, that's what that's the summary of it, my lord.
Kafishane ke ilokho.
And in which unit or units of the police did you work?
So the first one was a specialized unit, a uniform branch, my lord. That's the initial one after the basic training.
Emuva ke ku-training lena ke kwaba eyoqala ke ilena ke i-unit le ebizwa ngokuthi ke ile ye-uniform.
Thereafter, I went to join the Brixton Vehicle Theft Unit.
Emuva kwalokho ngase ngiya ke kwi-Brixton Theft Vehicle Unit ebhekene nomtshotshwa ke kweyimoto yase-Brixton.
I also worked with the anti-hijacking tax team. It was a division, detective division unit.
Ngase ngisebenza futhi nakuyona ke i-anti-hijacking task team.
Is it possible just to give the years or more or less the years you
Yes,
spent?
of course, yes.
Is the uniform branch which years?
That will be, say, 1990. I beg your pardon, my lord. My training was 1993. I started with the uniform.
1994.
Then in 2003, I joined the anti-hijacking tax team. That is the detective unit that was dealing with the hijacking of vehicles.
Kwase kuthi ke ngaye u-2003 ngase ngisebenza ke kule unit ke ebhekene nokuhijackwa kweyimoto.
And that is why I started my investigations as well.
Ila ngaqala khona ke ngophenyo ke nami.
Then in 2005, I was transferred to Brixton Vehicle Theft Unit under the detective section.
Kwase kuthi ke ngayo 2005 ngase ngindluliselwa ke kwi-unit ke ye-detectives theft unit. So the Brixton Detective Theft Units.
And then 2006, I was moved, the very same year of 2005, I was moved to the DPCI Organized Crime in Johannesburg Stock Exchange.
Kwase kuthi ke kwangaloyo nyaka lowo ku-2005 ngandluliselwa ke kwi-DPCI unit eJohannesburg Stock Exchange.
Thereafter, my lord, I moved, I think in 2007 to what is called now Johannesburg Vehicle Theft Unit.
Kwase kuthi ngo-2007 ngandluliselwa ke la lokho sekubizwa ke namuhla nanjenge-Johannesburg Theft Unit, yes.
2009, I was transferred, promoted to Vereeniging Vehicle Theft Unit.
Kwase kuthi ke ngo-2009 ngase ngitransferwa ke futhi ngikhushulwa ke nangesikhundla kwi-Vereeniging Theft Unit.
Then 2011, I was transferred to the provincial detectives in Gauteng.
Kwase kuthi ke ngo-2011 ngandluliselwa ke kubaphenyi ke noma kubaseshi ke besifunda eGauteng
Under the provincial tax team.
Sengaphansi kwayo ke i-task team yesifunda.
And then 2013, I was appointed as the head of the provincial taxi violence.
Kwase kuthi ke ngayo u-2013 ngakhushulwa ke ngesikhundla ke ukuthi ngibe yena ke noma ophethe ke noma inhloko ke yodlame ke olubhekene namatekisi.
2014, I was transferred to the national head office under the tax team at the office of the National Commissioner's Office.
Kwase kuthi ngo-2014 ngasuka ke kuyona ke i-head office kuyona ke ihhovisi lakhe u-commissioner.
2016, my lord, I was moved back to Gauteng, the provincial head office, provincial detective headquarters.
2016, okay. Kwase kuthi ngo-2016 ngabuyiselwa futhi ke kulona ke ihhovisi lesifunda ke.
And then
Just a minute, so 2016 Gauteng?
provincial detectives.
Kubaseshi ke noma kubaphenyi ke besifunda.
2017, my lord, I was moved back to the national head office under the office of the National Commissioner as the head of the cold case unit. At that time, it was a tax team, sort of like a type of a pilot project at the time.
Kwase kuthi ke ngayo 2017 ngabuyisela kulona ke ihhovisi lakhe ke ucommissioner ukuthi ke ngibe yiyona ke inhloko noma ke owengamela noma ophethe ke kuyona i-national cold case. Kwakusabhekwa ke ukuthi ke i-pilot project kusabhekwa ke ukusebenza kwayo ngaleso sikhathi leso.
Then in 2021, I was then appointed as the national head of the cold case unit, still under the same office, and that's why I'm still positioned, my lord.
Kwase kuthi ke ngayo u2021 ngase ngibekwa ke nanjenge national head ke ophethe ke kuzwelonke kuyona ke national case cold case unit ngisekuyona ke noma ileso sikhundla ngisasibambile kuze kube manje.
Do you know the two previous state witnesses, Sergeant Mukhani and female Sergeant Mukhola?
That is correct, my lord. They work under my unit.
Ngiyabazi bobabili ke laba abachaziwe ke uSergeant Mukhane kanye ke nalo wesifazane ke uSergeant Mukhola basebenza ke ngaphansi kwayo iunity engiyiphethe.
And is it correct that you are the lead investigator in this matter?
That is correct, my lord.
Kuyiqiniso ke nokuthi ke imina ke umseshi ke ophambili ke noma oyinhloko kulona ke leqala.
Can you briefly deal with the mandate of the cold case unit?
Yes, my lord. So the mandate of the cold case unit is to look at all unresolved matters, or rather criminal cases that are brought to our attention.
Thina ke esikubhekileke noma ke okwethu ke ukuthi ke sibhekane ke nawo onke amacala angakatholakala isixazululo kuwona ke amacala ke obulelesi.
It basically entails, my lord, cases that have gone cold. In other words, they were not successfully brought to court for prosecution.
Lokho ke kusho ke noma ke kugxile kumacala ke okuvele nje ukuthi ke usungathi ke amacala nje aye abakhodi ke angakaze alethwe ke phambi kwezinkantolo ukuthi ke kuzoshushiswa.
That is the essence of the mandate, my lord. There could be various reasons as to why they've gone cold, but we have the general authority over that. Once the case has gone cold for various reasons, it then falls within our mandate once it's brought to our attention for further investigation.
Kungenzeka ukuthi ke izathu zingahluka ke ukuthi ke kungani ke icala lelo lingalethiwe ngaphambi kwenkantolo ukuthi lixazululeke noma kushushiswe ke, kodwa ke uma ngaba selifinyelela kuthina ke okwethu ukuthi ke sibhekeke noma siphenyeke ukuthi kungani.
And in terms of your jurisdiction, how far do you go?
Well, it's
In terms of jurisdiction.
Yeah, well, it's basically national, my lord, and in each and every country where we have mutual legal assistance relations. So it's national and international, insofar as those countries that can cooperate with us with investigations, my lord.
Thina ke bathi nje iningizimu Afrika ke yonkana nje iphela ke futhi ke namanye ke amazwe la khona ke okukhona ke ubudlelwana ke bokusebenzisana phakathi kwethu kanye nawo.
And just for record purposes, can you just give the particulars of the current case, the case number, and the person who's been involved, the deceased?
Yes, indeed, my lord. So the case number is under forced arrest 636 of 10/2014.
Icala leli ke imininingwane yalo ke forced arrest case 636 10/2014.
It relates to the murder of Senzo Robert Meyiwa,
Mayelana ke nokubulawa kwakhe ke uSenzo Robert Meyiwa,
who was killed on the 26th of October 2014, my lord, in forced arrest.
owabulawa ke nge-26 zika October 2014 khona forced arrest
Between the times of 20:30 hours to 2100 hours of the same day.
isikhathi ke kwangathi ke ngesigamu ke noma ke ngo-20:30 ukuya ke na ke u-2000 ukuthi phakathi kwakhe ke u8:30 ebusuku no9 ebusuku.
When was your unit seized with this matter?
It was seized with this matter on the 18th of November 2018, my lord.
18
Sorry, 12 November 2018. 12th November 2018.
thina ke i-unit yethu ke ukuthi ke itshelwe noma ke inikezwe ukuthi ke isebenze ngaleli qala leli ke kwakunge-12 zika November 2018.
Sergeant Mohola has referred to a matter, Tembisa Cast 2173 of 2019. Are you familiar with that matter?
That is correct, my lord. It's a matter that relates to dealing in drugs, and the person involved there, it's accused number 1
Can you just repeat the number 217?
of
317.
Sorry? 217?
3.
317.
Okay. Icala leli ke mshushisi umbuza ngecala leli ke elu217 laseThembisa ngabe uyalazi yini? Yebo ke icala ke elimayelana namakhatheni ke nokusetshenziswa noma ke ukushushumbiswa kwezidakamizwa futhi ke laseThembisa limayelana naye umsolo wokuqala.
Can you tell the court in your own words? You mentioned that it fell within your mandate as it was not resolved at the time. Can you perhaps maybe expand on that?
So
How did it form part of your unit's docket?
yes. So as I indicated, my lord, all matters that have gone cold, in other words, unsolved within the police system, falls within the mandate of the cold case unit. So this was one of those cases at the time when we started to look at accused number 1 that was picked up. It was unresolved, and we then embarked on resolving it while we were pursuing him on the matter that is before court.
Nanjengoba bese ngishilo ke ngaphambilini ukuthi thina ke sibhekeneke namacala ahamba lwase uphenyo manje lungasaqhubekeki, akukho nje okwenzekayo ke iloko bizwa ukuthi ke ama cold cases. Manje ke laseliza kuthina ke lelo daba lolu ke sase siphenya ke nkathi leyo esasibheke umsolo wokuqala simbhekele lecala leli eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
You said it came to attention when you look at accused number 1. What process were engaged in at that point?
Yes. So at the time when accused number 1, my lord, became a person of interest on this matter, we did what we called a cold case analysis, and
Okay.
that is now the profiling of the accused, or rather the suspect at the time.
Okwenzeka ke ukuthi ukuthe uma ngaba ke manje umsolo wokuqala ke sekuwumuntu manje ke obhekiwe noma osibhekekiwe nakhe noma abambiza ngokuthi ke umuntu person of interest emaphoyiseni ke sase ke manje kubhekwa ke umsolo wakhe ngoba wayese umsolo ngaleso sikhathi leso ke kuyahlolwa ke noma ke kuya-analyzwa ke.
Through the cold case analysis and profiling, this particular matter of Tembisa 217 was picked up amongst other cases in relation to accused number 1.
Kwathi ke uma sisenza lokho ke sisabheka ke yena ke manje si-analyze ke umsolo wokuqala kwase kuvela ke lecala leli ke elaseThembisa.
And it was discovered that this Tembisa matter, my lord, and the others that we picked up were all cold for some reason.
Kwase kutholakala ke ukuthi leli elaseThembisa engikhuluma ngalo kanye namanye ke nje amacala kwavele nje akwabinalutho eyenzakalayo lokho akubiza ukuthi nje abakhodi.
Hence, they were then drawn, my lord, for further investigations, and that's how we came to the issue of the warrant insofar as Tembisa matter is concerned.
Ingakho ke kwase kudonswa manje ke le warrant lena yokuthi ke aboshwe ke uma ngokumayelana nalecala leli laseThembisa.
And when was the matter assigned to Sergeant Mohola, this Tembisa Cast 2173 of 2019?
I think, my lord, it will be November of 2019. I just don't remember the date, but I know that it was signed around the period of 2019, and the arrest, insofar as that matter is concerned, took place on the 30th of June 2020. 2020, the arrest, yes.
Lecala leli ufisa ukwazi ke umshushisi ukuthi landlulisela nini ke manje kuyena uSergeant Mohola ukuthi kube uyena ke manje ophenya lecala leli kwakungo November wakhe u2019 ukuthi njena ke idate angisayikhumbulike, kodwa ke ukuboshwa kwakhe ke mayelana nalecala leli ke waboshwa nge30 zika June 2020.
Well, the date of arrest is already on record. Sergeant Mukhola has referred to the date of 30 May 2020.
Yes, I beg your pardon, my lord. I think it might be my mistake. It is 30 May. That's correct, my lord. I think I made a mistake with 1 month, so it's 30 May. That's correct.
Cabanga ukuthi ngenze iphutha ngenyanga nje eyodwa ke mina ngithe nge-30 zika June umshushisi yamlungisake uthi uSergeant Mukhola yena utheke nge-30 zika May 2020. So yavuma ukuthi wenze iphutha.
Can you tell the court in your own words what happened on the day, the 30th of May 2020?
I was informed, my lord, by the sergeant that the accused number 1, at the time he was a suspect in that matter, was arrested. He was traced, found and arrested for the offense of drug dealing.
Ngatshelwa ke uyena uSergeant ukuthi ke balandelela ke bamfuna ke baze bamthola ke umsolo wakhe mayelana nalelo cala lelo leyidakamizwa laseThembisa.
If you say the sergeant, who are you referring to?
Sergeant Mukhola.
Ngatshelwa uyena uSergeant Mukhola.
Yes.
I was further informed, my lord, that during the investigation it was discovered that accused 1 was making some form of admissions in relation to this matter that is before court.
Ngase ngitshelwa ke ukuthi ngaso leso sikhathi leso ke manje umsolo wokuqala ke khona ukuthize awayesekuvuma ke mayelana naleli icala eliphambi kwenkantolo njengamanje.
Yes. You earlier on referred to the fact that warrant was authorized. What was the position regarding this matter?
This matter was still under investigation, my lord. At
No,
the time
I'm
of the
talking about the
warrant.
Tembisa case.
So the warrant was not executed at the time, on the 30th of May, 30 May 2020. Yes, no, that was the day the warrant was executed, my lord.
Ngalo ilanga langa i-30 zika May 2020 lona ke ilanga lelo ke iwarrant ke le eyayikhishiwe ke yokuboshwa kwakhe ke eyathi ke manje yabe iyasebenza ngalo.
Yes, in respect of which accused?
In respect of accused number 1, my lord.
Ngoba mayelana naye ke umsolo wokuqala.
Yes. And how did Sergeant Mukhola contact you?
Telephonically, my lord.
Waxhumana nami ngocingo uSergeant Mukhola.
Yes.
I was further informed, my lord, that they will be moving from Tembisa to Phosphorus for further investigation insofar as the investigation that they were conducting with accused number 1.
Ngase ngitshela nokuthi ke bazosuka ke eThembisa bahambe baye ePhosphorus mayelana nophenyo ke ababelenza naye umsolo wokuqala.
I then requested them, my lord, to meet me at Phosphorus police station with the accused.
Ngase ngibacela ke ukuthi bahlangane.
Yes. And why particularly at Phosphorus police station?
Well, firstly, my lord, they were going to Phosphorus, so they gave me that information. Secondly, I thought it's a proper place to meet. It's a police station, so we wouldn't want to meet them anywhere else. That is not safe and proper.
Kungani ke okwesibili ke kwakuyi police station ayikho ke enye indawo esasingahlangana kuyona ke ekahle nje na futhi ke nevikelekile.
30 May 2020.
Base befika ke khona lapho ngicabanga ukuthi ke sahlangana ke libumbene lesikhombisa ihora ngalo lelo langa lelo.
We met at the police parking lot in front of the police station.
Sahlangana ke la kuma khona ke imoto ku parking yike ngaphambi kwayo police station.
Accused number 1 was introduced to me by Sergeant Mukhola, who was in the company of Sergeant Mabena at the time, standing next to her, sorry.
Wethulwa ke kumina yena ke umsolo wokuqala ethulwa uyena ke uSergeant Mukhola owayimi eduze ke no Sergeant Mabena owayenaye ngalelo langa.
Just a minute. Yes.
I also recall, my lord, that Constable Buthelezi of SWAT EMPD, I think there was a vehicle of SWAT, but I remember him. He was also within range. He was still not far from them as well.
Okunye ngikhumbulayo ke futhi ukuthi ke uButhelezi ke oyena ke weSWAT wayekhona ke lapho kweEMPD wayengekho nje ekudeni ke engaqhelile nje lapho babe khona.
And whilst we're still on the topic of SWAT, what was SWAT's involvement regarding matters investigated by the cold case unit?
They were providing escort and protection, my lord, and at times they will participate in the takedown operations, what we call takedowns, that will involve arrests. But their main function was to provide security and escort duties.
ISWAT ke okwabo noma owabo umsebenzi babuyiphelezela ke kanye futhi ke nako ukuvikeleka bakhona ke izehlakalo la khona ke lokho sikubiza ngokuthi ke i-takedown noma ke ukuboshwa la nabo ababe bayi
Cut
emuva kokuthi sengethuliwe ke kuyena
Section 108 of 1996 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa.
ngase ngimexwayisa ke ngawo ke amalungelo anawo ngokomthethosisekelo ke wala eNingizimu Afrika section 108 wakhe ke u1996.
No, sorry, Act 108 Section 35. So it's Act 108 Section 35, yes. So it's Section 35, Act 108 of 1996 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa.
Ngenze nje iphutha ke uma ngichatha ke wona ke lomthetho lona ke ngoba ke ku Act 108 wakhe ke usection 35 ka 1996.
Where was the accused at that point?
He was inside the vehicle, the police vehicle. It was a red Golf, my lord.
Ngaleso sikhathi leso ke wayengaphakathi ke kuyona imoto yamaphoyisa ekwakuyi Golf ebomvu noma eyayibomvu.
Who was using the vehicle on that day?
Sergeant Mukhola was, my lord.
Kwaku Sergeant Mukhola owayesebenzisa leyo moto ngalelo langa.
And in which language were you communicating with accused number one?
I was communicating with him in Zulu, my lord.
Ngangikhuluma naye ke ngesiZulu umsolo wokuqala.
And how proficient are you in this?
Well, very well, my lord. I actually did right from sub A to matric. My vernacular language was Zulu. My mom is also Zulu speaking, so I think I can speak Zulu as any Zulu person can do.
IsiZulu ukusuka ke kena ke usub A kuyofika ke ku matric noma wami futhi uZulu.
Yes, we continue. What were the rights that you explained to accused number one?
Yes, so the first one, my lord, it was the right to remain silent.
Elokuqala ke kwakuyilungelo ke lokuthi ke ungathula ungasho lutho.
Right not to give self-incriminating evidence.
Ukuthi ke ungasho noma ungakhulumi into ezothi ke noma ke ezokufaka ke kubulelesi.
And that if you do, such can be used against him.
Nokuthi uma kuukuthi uyakwenza ke lokho ukuthi lokho ke kungasetshenziswa ngakuwena.
A right to an attorney.
Ilungelo lokuba nommeli.
And a right to have one provided at the state's expense for him if he so chooses.
Uma kuukuthi ke uyakhetha ke ukuthi ke umbuso ke ungamnikeza ummeli.
A right to be detained in conditions that are suitable with human conditions, because I knew my lord was already detained or rather arrested for the Tembisa matter.
Ngoba ke ngase ngazi ke ukuthi wayeseboshiwe ke eboshela lona ke iqala lelo laseThembisa ke ngase ngimtshela ke noma ngimazisa ke ukuthi futhi unelungelo lokuthi ke avaleleke ngendlela ke ehambisana ke nokuthi ke umuntu abe aphatheke ngendlela ekuyiyona nefanelekile.
And a right to challenge the legality of his detention if he feels it's wrong, and to be released immediately if it is proven such.
Nokuthi futhi ke abe unelungelo ke lokuthi ke alwisane noma aphikisane ke nendlela ke aboshwe ngayo ke uma kuukuthi ke ucabanga ukuthi indlela aboshwe ngayo akusiyona ke nokuthi uma kutholakala ukuthi impela lokho kunjalo ke ukuthi adedelwe.
Yes, those are the rights that I gave him.
Ikona lawo amalungelo engamnikeza wona.
Yes, we may continue.
I then, my lord, asked the members, Sergeant Mokola and Sergeant Mabena, to excuse me as I wanted to interview accused one alone.
Ngase ngibacela ke uSergeant Mkhula kanye naye ke uSergeant Mabena ukuthi ke nje ake basinikeze ke isikhathi ke manje uma ngangifisa ukuthi ke benenhlolo khona noma ngikhulumisane naye umsolwa yingedwa.
My lord, I told him that he should feel free to raise any complaint or anything that is concerning him. If he so chooses, if there is such, he should feel free to speak to me and bring it to my attention. His response was that there's nothing wrong with it.
Ngase ngimazisa ngimtshela ke ukuthi nje akhululeke ke uma kuukuthi kukhona ke angaphathekile kahle ikona ke noma nje okwenziweke ke na ke asho akhulume kumina wase engazisa noma engitshela ukuthi cha akukho nje okumkhalisayo.
I further informed my lord that my interview will relate to the killing of Senzo Meyiwa with him.
Ngamtshela futhi ke noma ngamazisa ke ukuthi ke inhloko khona ngizoba naye kanye naye noma ukukhulumisana kwami naye ke kumayelana nokubulawa kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa.
I further, my lord, established from him, rather asked him if he had taken any drug substance that day or medication, and the answer was no.
Ngambuza ukuthi ngalelo langa lelo wayesebenzise idakamizwa yini noma ke khona nje umuthi noma imedication ayisebenzisa waphendula ke wathi cha.
I further asked him if he had any liquid, if he has taken any liquor or intoxicating substance. My lord, the answer was no.
Ngambuza ke noma ukuthi utshwala ke yini wabuthatha ke ngalelo langa lelo noma yini nje engathi ke ibe nokuphazamisa ke okukhona ke yena ke emcabangeni noma ke engqondweni yakhe waphendula wathi cha.
I further asked him, my lord, if he was intimidated or threatened or unduly influenced to come and talk to me. The answer was no.
Ngase ngimbuza ukuthi wasatshiswa yini noma ke mhlambi ke waphoqwa yini ke noma ngendlela nje engafanelekile noma ekungasiyona wathi mina ke cha. Phansi kwakhe ku section 35 ngamalungelo akhe.
And then I put it to him that I have a reason at my disposal that he was involved in the killing of Senzo Meyiwa.
Ngase ngimazisa ukuthi nganginezathu ke mina ke nganginaso ke ukuthi yena ke wayenengxenye ke ekubulaweni kwakhe uSenzo Meyiwa.
Yes.
My lord, if I can just go back, I forgot something. So after I gave him his rights in terms of section 35, I asked him, what is it that he wants to do? And the response is, insofar as those rights that I've given him, was that one, he does not want to speak, he does not need a lawyer, be it private or the state attorney. Secondly, and that he is comfortable to speak to me, so he does want to talk to me. He doesn't want to remain silent.
Ngifisa nje ukuthi ke ngikuyele emuva khona nje engikhohliweke kwathi emuva kokuthi sengimtshelileke noma ngimchazele ngamalungelo lana ke ngase ngimbuza ukuthi yini ofisa ukuthi uyenze wathi ke kumina ke akana asikho ke isidingo noma akayimisele ukuthi ke athole ummeli noma ummeli oyimele noma ke owombuso nokuthi ke futhi ke akayimisele ukuthi athule angasho lutho uzokhuluma nami.
Furthermore, my lord, during my interaction with him, I did not observe any sign of panic or uneasiness before we started with the discussion.
Futhi ke ngaphambilini kokuthi siqaleke ngayo inkulumo akukho nje engakubona ke ukuthi cha akahleke kuyena ke noma nje isimo sakhe akekho kwisimo nje esikahle noma ukuthi mhlawumbe ungasebenzisa lamagama ke ukuthi uyaphenika akukho engakubona okunjalo.
Nor did he raise any complaint with me.
Noma ke yena ke asho kumina ukuthi ikhona ke inkinga ekhona noma anayo.
Brigadier, just for record purposes, can you just explain why did you have to explain his rights again?
My lord, so I wanted him to understand because now I was moving. So the first part was just for him when I first arrived. It was just general caution of him knowing what his rights entails before he starts talking to us. It was before I told him the main reasons why I want to talk to him personally.
Okokuqaleni ke uma ngimtshela ke ngawo amalungelo akhe kwakuwukuthi nje ke azike ukuthi nje isexwayiso lesike asitholayo ke mina ke ukuthi kungani ke kwakungaphambilini kokuthi ngimchazele ke izathu esona zathu esasibangela ukuthi kube lapho.
Secondly, my lord, after my interaction with him in the car, I was satisfied that he doesn't look to be unduly influenced and he was not under any intoxicating substances, and therefore then I started to warn him again because then I was moving to the actual purpose of my visit.
Okwesibili ke emuva kokuthi ngakhulumisana naye ke noma ngaxoxa ke naye emotweni ngase ngibona ke ukuthi nje awukho umthelela ongafanelekile ke noma ongadingekile okhona ngakena ke nokuthi futhi ke asikho ke noma azikho ke idakamizwa ayisebenzisile ke ngalanga ngase ngibona ukuthi manje ke sengizondla
Lastly, to establish as to what choices does he want to do, to take.
futhi ke nokwazi ke ukuthi kuyilezo izathu.
Please, Mama.
Brigadier, are you available tomorrow?
I am available.
Listen, you want to say something?
Yes. Maybe we should request that in the meantime, they should try to deal with these inhuman conditions in this court. They are very inhumane. We are unable to concentrate meaningfully. It's too hot.
Do you know the Minister of Electricity?
Yes. I do not know him.
He said there won't be any load shedding in December. So let's hope for December. But here the air condition is not working because there's no electricity.
Hopefully, my lord. But at this court, I think there's a backup.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
They haven't stolen the gasoline yet.
It's a 1,200 horsepower backup.
Is that so?
It can actually run the whole city. So I don't know why we are subjected to such inhuman conditions.
Can you talk to the court manager?
This will, my lord, it feels like a sauna. It's
Okay, it's tomorrow then at 10 o'clock.
More than those that other people are subjected to.